Hey, Beak Squad, David Burns with you tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm looking at the comments, and so many of you are in with us tonight from all over the place. So thanks for joining me tonight on our live stream. We have a great time planned for you guys this evening, so I hope you stay with us through the whole event here. I got a little schedule that I'm following. We have so much cool stuff going on, but I'm going to start off in just a little bit, getting close to Halloween. Whether you celebrate that or not, we're going to talk about 4 scary mistakes that beekeepers make. I'm going to be doing a little bit of teaching for you guys on that. Then we have Jessica Fairfax. She's our hostess with the mostest. She's going to be, I'm going to talk with her. You guys are going to get to know her a little bit better. She's always behind the scenes, taking care of the comment section, the chat section, and interacting with you guys. I thought it'd be fun for you guys to spend a little time hearing Jessica's beekeeping journey and what she does, what she's like when she's at home and not on live stream. What does she do? And then we're going to be talking about, we're going to be taking some questions, of course, beekeeping questions, but we have something interesting planned tonight. And that is probably around 7:30 mark, or a little bit after. We're going to be taking questions, of course, but we're also going to be allowing you guys to ask personal questions of myself, Jessica, and Sherry. Now, they have to be appropriate. We won't be answering inappropriate questions, but if you want to ask some personal questions, you know, what's Sherry's favorite movie? What does Jessica do for her hobbies? What does David, blah, blah, blah. You can ask personal questions, and we'll do our best to answer those personal questions a little bit later. And we have an ultimate class giveaway planned as well around after we're done with the personal questions, probably 7:45 or so toward the end of the live stream. I'm going to be giving away an ultimate beekeeping online course. Those are great, and it's a $289 value. So if you guys be paying attention, I'll give you the magic word to type into the comment section if you're watching this live. If you're watching this as it's been recorded and you're not watching it live, there's no reason to participate. I mean, I'll see people leave comments, you know, hashtag whatever, a month later trying to win something. So it has to be. Oh, and another thing, I understand that if no matter how many times you punch in hashtag the magic word, it doesn't help you to do it over and over again from what I'm told. So when we get ready to do that, doing it once is going to just be just as good as doing it 100 times. So we got a lot of things planned tonight, and it's going to be a fun time. Hey, how you guys doing on your weather? Wow, I made a video today, and I talked about the weather change that's coming up. I can't believe I came out to the studio here from our house, and it was actually warmer outside than in my house. Now, I live in Illinois, and weather just changes so much here in the Midwest. I got my plaid shirt, kind of a warmer shirt on today because it's a little cooler in here. And wow, but it's warm today. It really was. And we got some rain. Let's see, how do I make it rain? I think I go like this and I can make it rain. Let's see. Yeah, we got a lot of rain today. And we need the rain. But wow, I tell you, it's going to cool off. If you're not ready for it, it's going to cool off for us, I think, around Saturday, maybe certainly on Sunday. And that's what my video was about. Is it too late to do things with your bees? So if you haven't seen that video, after this live stream, watch my newest published videos to help you guys out. Sherry and I spent some time planning that video, talking about temperatures and all. So it'll be a good video for you guys to watch. Bobblehead David is here. Always, you can subscribe. And you can always like the video too, like the live stream. So always feel free to subscribe and give a thumbs up as well. We always appreciate that as well. Okay, so let's talk about some 4 scary things now that we're kind of near Halloween and everything. What are 4 scary mistakes that beekeepers make? There are probably hundreds of them. So I had to pick 4 because we're limited on how long I can sit in this chair. So I narrowed it down to my top 4 picks. And the first one is, I see a lot of beekeepers doing this, and it really scares me. They refer and they reference the entrance to determine how well the hive is doing without opening the top, without pulling out any frames, without checking on the queen. They simply look at the bees going in and out of the entrance, and they come to a conclusion based on that activity. And personally, I mean, I'm a certified master beekeeper with the Eastern Apicultural Society. I don't think that tells me anything. I really doesn't. Now, some people say, well, if they're bringing pollen in, that means they have a queen. Well, I've seen them bring pollen in without a queen. So not always, not necessarily. So sometimes it's kind of misleading to think you can identify anything going on at the entrance and relate it to what's really going on in the hive. But I get this question asked a lot. People will ask me, they'll send videos of bees, a lot of bees maybe on a heavy nectar flow going in and out. You know what a heavy nectar flow looks like? It's when all the bees crawl up the front. That's the bees that are taking off the runway. They crawl up the front of the hive. The ones coming in fly directly kind of into the bottom board. So the bees that are taking off will crawl up and fly away. So they leave room for the other bees to come in the entrance. That's a heavy nectar flow. But a lot of people say, I think my bees are swarming. I think they're going to swarm. Or when they take that orientation flight at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, leave a comment if you've ever seen that before. You walk outside, especially you new beginners, and it looks like a swarm. All your bees are outside the hive, it seems like, just flying around. But the way that you know it's not a swarm, well, the best way is that you inspect your hive regularly so you know there's no swarm cells. But the second way you can tell when they have these orientation flights, most of the bees are facing the hive. They're kind of like coming back in or hovering, facing it. They take big flights, but there's a lot of bees facing the hive. When a swarm occurs, bees aren't facing the hive. They are flying away in a fast pace. So that really is a scary thing when I see beekeepers only referring to what's going on at the entrance to determine the health of the colony. Really doesn't tell you much at all. It really doesn't. So don't rely on the entrance. It's fun to watch. You can draw some conclusions, but it really doesn't help things all that much to look at the entrance. Now, the second thing is a big one for me, and that is a lot of beekeepers ignore a dearth. The time of year when nectar stops, there's no more flowers available, and there's a dearth. And so beekeepers sometimes are new and they don't know what to do during a dearth. They're like, oh, good, my bees need a rest. The flowers aren't blooming anymore, so I don't have to worry about my bees because I guess they're done for the year. Actually, a dearth is really hard on bees. Now, we hope that bees have stored enough honey inside, enough pollen, bee bread inside the hive that they can weather a dearth, but not always. Get this. I mean, I've told you guys this in all my videos. I mentioned this a lot, but here in Illinois, we've been without flowers for maybe a week or 2 weeks now. Anything that bees could go to at all. And even then, it wasn't much at all. But now there's nothing because we've had some frost, some freezing nights. So what's happening is the bees have only what's inside their hive to use as food. And remember, they're heavily populated. I want them to raise a lot of brood too. So they have a lot of brood in there. So what's happening now is the bees are consuming all of their stored resources. And that's their winter food, people. That's bad, isn't it? Wow, they can just, and what is it? October the 26th. So winter isn't for another 2 months until it even begins. And then we have 3 months here in the Midwest. We have really harsh winters. And so, there's 5 months of winter, of no nectar, and then winter the bees are going to have to rely on. That's kind of scary, isn't it? So it's important that you understand you need to feed your bees. Some people still live by 2 to 1. And if that's your thing that you like to do, 2 parts sugar, 1 part water, go for it. I like to feed 1 to 1 to stimulate them raising brood. And some people even go weaker than that with sugar water. But I just think they need a little bit of sugar water to keep prompting the nurse bees to be able to take care of the larvae, feed the larvae, and for the queen to keep laying. So that's the second scary thing is when beekeepers just ignore a dearth and fail to feed their bees. And of course, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. I'm going to say it. You know what the third one is? I don't have one near me, but it's ignoring the mites. Yeah, I mean, when I first started beekeeping, mites just kind of got a foothold in the U.S. And I'll be honest with you, first year or two, it was easy for me to think, they'll never hit me. They'll never reach where I'm at. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. It was. It became a big deal pretty fast too. I lost my first very 2 colonies by ignoring mites and thinking that I would never have mites. And that didn't turn out very good. So a lot of beekeepers oftentimes think that mites aren't around their property. They don't have mites. They don't see them. And if you don't see mites, it just means that you can't really see that well up close, because all beehives have mites. I really do believe that. I know there may be exceptions, but there can be different levels of mite infestation, but you're going to see some mites in your colony. So don't ignore your mites. Get used to treating mites. And I think it's important that you stay on top of that. The last thing I want to share is a failure to be hyper, kind of like a micromanager of your queen. A lot of beekeepers don't really spend time evaluating their queen, probably as much as I think people should. And what I mean by that is a lot of times people just want to find her. Oh, I want to see my queen. Where is she? Where is she? Oh, there she is. By the time they see her, they don't even think about her laying pattern, how many frames of eggs they have. Because look, you can see your queen, you can see capped over brood, and you can have a big problem. Let me explain that. So if your queen has a problem and she's no longer able to produce eggs, let's say, she got clogged up, there's a malfunction, it happens to queens, and she just stops laying. Maybe she ran out of sperm, she's a drone laying or something. You might see the results of when she was a good laying queen by capped brood that looks very good, but she may have failed. And now if you look closer and kind of micromanager, you may not see any eggs and you may not see any larvae. So she's there, but she's failing your colony. So yeah, it doesn't help really just to find her. And I often tell you on my YouTube videos, it's really not all that important to see the queen, I don't think. I mean, you know what a queen looks like, right? So if just imagine you see her, what you want to look for, how many frames of eggs do I have? Is she very productive? And does she have a good brood laying pattern? I don't want to just to have a bunch of drone, I don't want her laying unfertilized eggs. And so you got to be always constantly monitoring your queen. So those are 4 scary things that scare me when beekeepers only evaluate a bee inspection by looking at the entrance, ignore the dearth and don't feed their bees. They ignore mites and fail to keep them under control. And they fail to constantly evaluate their queen every 2 weeks to make sure she's really doing well. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. Those are 4 Halloween scary things that beekeepers can easily overcome too. All of us can take time to open up the hive instead of just looking at the entrance. Get in there, cowboy up, inspect it. I remember the first hive that I started with, I was so scared. It took me a long time to ever get out there. And I mean, I was looking in the top deep, but I didn't want to open up the bottom deep. I was probably 30 years old or something. I was a little scared about, oh my gosh, I got to go. You got the boxes all torn open. I'm going to get stung. I had to cowboy up. And then, I think it's important that we feed our bees by looking for a dearth when our bees aren't foraging anymore. And just decide how you want to handle mites, whether you're going to be a natural beekeeper and you want to maybe use IPM methods, more mechanical, like a green drone comb or screen bottom board, powdered sugar shakes or something. Or if you want to use some treatments, Formic Pro, Apivar, Apilife, those sorts of things. And certainly evaluate that queen. Let's constantly evaluate her performance. Think of yourself as the manager of the queen. So you just can't let her work and get paid if she's not doing a good job. All right. Well, right now it's time for us to introduce to you our hostess extraordinaire. And this is someone who's been with us from the very beginning. Everybody meet Jessica Fairfax. Hi, Jessica.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good to see you. It's great to have you on the live stream with us, Jessica.
Thank you, David. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, of course, I feel like I know you because we always spend time, the 3 of us, me, you, and Sherry, spend time before each live stream, we chat, we get our thoughts together and make sure everybody looks good. And also I've spent a lot of time, but I want to thank you for being a part of our live stream from the very beginning. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I've really enjoyed watching it, and, being a new beekeeper myself, I've learned a lot from you and your wife. It's been great working with you and Sherry.
Oh, good. Well, tell everybody where do you live? What state are you from?
I'm in Virginia. I live in the northern neck of Virginia.
Okay. Wow. What do you call people that live in Virginia? Virginians? Do you have an accent, a slight accent?
Maybe a little one, but
no, maybe not. I'm from the South. I was born and raised in Tennessee, so it's hard for me to speak northern accent, but I try to do my best. I want to go back to speaking as a Tennessean would. Well, it's good to have you, Jessica. And tell us a little bit about, I always have my guests answer 2 questions first. Mm-hmm. What do you hate the most and love the most about beekeeping?
Well, I'd have to say I probably hate getting stung the most. That and, having the thought of having to pinch a queen if, it's her time to go and the hive hasn't done it themselves. I'd hate to have to kill my queen.
You only get one hate.
Oh, okay.
Now you got to go to the love side.
All right. Well, love, just working with the bees and watching the bees and listening to them. It's just a really nice experience. It's very therapeutic. I really enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm kind of like you on that one. It's not that I don't like being stung. It always surprises me when I get stung because my mind is so into what's going on that I just can't imagine what it'd be like to be stung. But all at once I'm like, why am I hurting for? Yeah. Looks like you have a neighbor watching you. Is that Ladybird? You know a neighbor there?
Oh, she's, I guess, in Hopewell, Virginia. That's about hour and 20 minutes away from me.
Okay, well, maybe in Virginia, that's a neighbor.
I used to have to pick up newspapers there when I helped do a newspaper route.
Oh, yeah, I see. Right.
Yeah,
that's cool.
There in Hopewell.
So, Jessica, how did you get started into beekeeping?
Well, I went to school for horticulture, and I grew up with a family that, had a nursery. We grow ornamental shrubs and trees, things like that. Needless to say, I was always big in the pollinators because of that. But a friend of mine and my husband's, Ben Bromwell, he got a farm down here, and he was trying to do some homesteading, and he ended up getting some bees and bringing them to my property and putting one here, and he put a couple on his property. And unfortunately, about a month and a half after we got the bees, he passed away. Oh. And I knew a little bit at that time, but I hadn't really dove into the classes. He was kind of going to be my mentor and help me out a lot with that stuff when we first got him, because he knew more than I did. So yeah, needless to say, I kind of took to YouTube. I found a local beekeeping club, and my cousin helped me get into that and doing classes with them to get my beekeeping certification. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got started with it.
That's great. We're getting a lot of people telling us that they're in Virginia also. Look at that.
So cool.
Yeah.
Culpeper, Virginia. Okay.
And let's see. I saw Brian with Castle Hive. He says he worked in, is that Manassas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Yep. You're lighting up Virginia. All the Virginia fans are like, yay!
Woo! Yay, yay.
Virginia, yeah. That's a neat thing about the internet. We can have people help us in our live stream from all over the place, and that's great. You really took a liking to our live stream. We actually started our live stream, and we, of course, we're watching the chat when people are talking, and then Sherry started saying, oh yeah, there's another West Virginia there. Sherry started saying, hey, there's this lady named Jessica. She's in the chat. She keeps responding in a real nice way to everybody. She's become like a host in the chat area helping us out. I was like, really? I haven't been able to watch the chat that much. So after we got, off the ground a little longer, we finally said, wow, hey, Jessica, you're doing a great job. We want to bring you on board. And you were like, yeah, that'd be great. So thanks for helping us in the live stream.
Oh, you're welcome. Grew up in hospitality, so
Oh, good.
no, it was nice getting to know new people online, I guess.
It is. It's really, yeah, that's one thing. When I started the live stream, I was afraid that there would be I've been a part of beekeeping forums and it's real contentious. You know what I mean? It's like, but then I thought, oh no, I don't want live stream just to be arguing over techniques of beekeeping and what hive tool you use and you shouldn't feed and you should feed and all that. I was like, oh, I don't want to do that all night. But then I just started noticing a very loving and connecting family of beekeepers. And it was so comforting to see, and it still is. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have a lot of what we call bots running in the background to catch anybody that wants to come on and blast us with profanity and all that's that'll be stopped before it happens. But it's a great place for people to come and hang out. I think it's so cool. Look at there's Greg Burns. Oh, thank you for your gift, Greg. Greg always calls me Uncle Dave, and I think Greg and I might slightly be related. Because I know way back in my ancestors did, some of them early ones did live in Ohio, and that's where Greg's. Good to see you, Greg. Greg's a great friend. Where Jessica, I want to ask you, how many hives do you have now?
I have 2.
Good. Yeah.
I lost 2 over this last winter, and then I did a split with the one that survived and did well. And luckily I still have both of those hives and they're going pretty strong right now. So
awesome. Good deal.
This winter doesn't, do a number on them.
Yeah. That's what we're all hoping for. So, with your beekeeping experience, I am so thankful that so many more beekeepers today are women, because when I started beekeeping, millions of years ago, there weren't that many women at all in beekeeping. And no, more and more. And I think I've heard, rumored, I always say rumored statistics, that there are more new beekeepers coming in as women than men.
Yeah.
And that's astounding. That's really good. I'm glad to see that.
I could see that. I mean, when I took my classes with the local club, there were more women in that class, that I think about it now than there were men in the class that were taking it.
Yeah. Well, good. So are you part of a local club there in Virginia?
Yes. The Northern Neck Beekeepers. Yes.
Northern Neck Beekeepers. Yeah. What's the club like? What kind of a size club is it?
It's not a real big one. They've probably got about, 30 or so members that are kind of spread out throughout the Northern Neck.
Okay.
But real good group, and it was fun taking their classes, and they have meetings monthly, and I don't always get to go, but I try.
Oh yeah. Great. What is Virginia like where you live? Is it, you got hills, mountains? What's your surroundings look like?
Well, I'm kind of in between 2 rivers. So we've got a lot of forest and fields. And then of course, a little bit of beach with the Potomac and the Rappahannock.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But okay. It's country living out here. I mean, we're about an hour from Fredericksburg or an hour from Richmond.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no big malls or anything nearby.
Yeah, that's the way we are. Me and Sherry are. It's about 40 minutes for us to go to a average size grocery store or a mall,
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah. But that I don't want to trade that. I love living out in the country. That's so good.
Oh yeah, we do too. And I've lived in a few different places, from Virginia Beach, up in the mountains, and I was happy to come home to the Northern Neck when I did.
Good. So tell me about your nectar flow. What kind of honey do you guys get? What kind of flowers?
Well, I have a lot of black raspberries and red raspberries and wild blueberries and wild pawpaw. So I believe a good bit of my honey is a lot of that wild raspberry, the black raspberry and red raspberry. Tons of clover, goldenrod, mullein, it's a little bit of a Garden of Eden. A lot of asters around here, hibiscus, butterfly bush.
Wow.
Yeah, and then of course, tulip poplars, oaks,
Wow.
maple trees, sugar maples, and then my husband and I on our farm, we've actually got the peach trees, apple trees, cherry
Ooh.
trees, plum, all that kind of good stuff, pear trees.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah, we do a little bit of homesteading here.
You must have a pretty good green thumb to keep all those fruit trees healthy, huh?
I try. I've got some local farmer friends that have helped with that.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning experience, but I really enjoy it. I didn't spray them this year because I was nervous because of the bees. So I've got to figure out how to do all that and with the bees at the same time.
Yeah. Well, we've always planted apple trees here, trying to get some to grow. And I bartered with a beekeeper once many years ago and traded her some nukes for some apple trees that she planted for me. And those took off pretty good. A couple of other things got them, like maybe a go-kart or something when they were little. But we have 2 apple trees now, Jessica, and one does so well. It has so many apples on it. The one next to it, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And they kind of turn like a golden color and die. I don't know what's wrong with that tree, or if it's not the right species or something is wrong with it. But
you might need another one to help pollinate it. Sometimes you got to have different varieties to get that pollination just
right. Yeah, but the one tree does great. We have more apples than we know what to do with. We've done the whole thing, applesauce, freeze them, store, and we please, people, come get our apples. We tell our family to come get our apples, but yeah. Wow, that's great. Well, I'm glad you're a beekeeper. And how long have you been keeping bees?
Well, this will probably be my 2nd year. Yeah.
Okay, so boy, you are brand new then. Yeah.
Yes, I am pretty new.
Good. Have you found certain things to be more challenging than you thought once you started?
A lot of it.
Yeah.
But it's been coming along pretty well. I've had a good support group. The club helped me out with a really good mentor at the beginning of the spring season after I took the class.
Yeah.
So that was really nice having the extra person there. And I mean, I'm always nervous I'm going to hurt my queen.
Oh yeah, we all are. Yeah, we all are. That's so bad. Now, I had a good friend. He has since passed away. His name, I think he was from Virginia. I could be wrong, but I'm almost 99% sure. Billy Davis. Does that name ring a bell?
Billy Davis.
Oh, obviously not. But he was a EAS master beekeeper. Pretty sure he was from Virginia, but I could be wrong. But I remember him well. He taught me a lot of things about bee. A lot of people in the comment or in the chat I know have heard of Billy Davis. He's on some YouTube videos doing some things, and he passed away a few years ago. Yeah, pretty sure he was from Virginia. Great beekeepers from Virginia. Yeah. All right. Well, Jessica, I'm glad everybody got to meet you. And anything specific you want to tell us that's unique about yourself? Have you won any major awards, Nobel Peace Prize? Do you know famous actors and actresses and all?
No, not really.
Oh, okay, good. Well,
Northern Neck country girl.
Okay. Well, Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, everybody.
Good to have Sherry here with us today.
It's fun to have Jessica on here.
Yeah, Jessica's fun. And
She's great.
yeah, I was really happy how quickly Jessica picked up all the nuances of the live stream technical side of it. That was a big help as well.
Hey, it with the program you use, it's been pretty easy because I'm usually not the tech person.
Okay. Okay.
This is all very new to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's new to all of us, but we started this live stream in February. And so we've been doing it quite a little while now. So we're kind of getting the hang. We feel a little bit more comfortable doing it. We've only had once or twice where something happened that was like, oh no, what happened? And how do we get that back? But otherwise it's pretty good.
David, I've just been amazed at how wonderful the people are.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. I've worked in customer service for many, many, many years, and so I've had my whole share of folks that I have worked with, and I was kind of like you too. I was kind of like, well, how's this gonna go? But I mean, my gosh, they are great, and they help each other, and they answer questions for each other, and they are just a wonderful group of people.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I know that a lot of the people watching us tonight, they shared the other live streams, that beekeepers have on other nights as well. And I think that's great. It's kind of like a rolling community of beekeepers that, bounce to this live stream, bounce to that live stream. And that's a lot of fun. It's good to get together. Sometimes I notice that some people in our chat will just start having a great conversation over there amongst themselves. It's really fun.
They do.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, it's a lot of fun on live stream. But we want to take a moment now, everybody, and give you an opportunity to ask personal questions of either myself or Sherry or Jessica. You can ask us some appropriate personal questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. And if we can't, we'll just tell you, nope, can't answer that.
Okay, go. Ask your questions.
So any personal questions that you'd like to ask of either of the three of us, that'd be great. So I've probably everybody knows everything about me because, oh my gosh, I've made videos on YouTube since 2008. So I'm sure that everybody knows everything about me. Oh, there's one.
Oh, here's a good question from Carol. What is your pet peeve when it comes to meeting your YouTube fans?
Wow, that is a really good question.
It is a good question. It really is. I don't know if there's a pet peeve, really. I mean, everybody is so great when we meet them, I don't know, David, do you have a pet peeve on that?
No, I don't have a pet peeve. I will say that I never expected to have YouTube fans, as the comment says. And so it was very, very awkward for me when I started getting a little more traction on YouTube. And then when I was speaking at conferences, people would come up and they'd want to take my picture with them or they want my autograph. That felt really funny for me because I just view myself as a beekeeper making YouTube videos, right? So it took me a little while, and I finally just had to tell myself, okay, I understand. People, I'm the same way. I watch somebody on TV or I watch somebody on YouTube and I see them. I'm like, oh, I watch you. Look at you. I know you in person. It's just a cool feeling. So no pet peeves, though. I've always had very good interactions. Sherry and I both will confess that when we were at Hive Life last year, we got there, I think what day was Thursday or Friday, when they had kind of like a get to know, greet, and meet or something. And oh my gosh, my face was so sore from smiling for hours and hours and hours at people. There were so many people that were so coming up to us and talking to us. We were really overwhelmed. That surprised me, that many people.
Okay, so this one's for all of us. How many of your family members are involved in beekeeping? Jessica, go.
3.
Wow.
And who would that be?
Me, my cousin Christy, and her husband Dave.
Very good.
Okay. And so at this point, I'm going to say none of ours because, I mean, at one time they all have been.
Yes.
I think every one of our children have worked in the business. They've made beehive boxes. They've painted them. They've fed them. They've gone out, and gotten the packages and driven them back, for customers.
And they've raised queens. Yep.
And our youngest one works in the business, but he doesn't work with the bees. He works on the facility and a lot of the shipping, that we do. He works on that. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good question. Yeah.
It is a good one. Okay, here's another one for all of us. Favorite hobby outside of beekeeping. I have got a million hobbies.
Sherry has a million hobbies. Yeah. She's always doing a hobby.
I do. I love to travel and I love to read and I love to dance and I love to sing And I love entertaining with my family and having folks come over to eat. And I love to cook. That's probably one of my biggest ones is I like to cook and David likes to eat it.
Oh, I do like to eat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, Jessica, what's your favorite?
I love doing anything outdoors. I love my animals. I've got a bunch of German shepherds, pigs, and chickens. Speaking of which, there goes Roxy.
Good sound effects.
He wanted in. She wanted
in.
That's great.
But kayaking, hiking, all that kind of good stuff.
That's funny.
Okay, David, what about you?
I'm like Sherry. I have a lot of hobbies outside of beekeeping. Probably my top hobby right now, because I do bounce around a lot. Right now, cycling. So I do a lot. I've always been a bike rider, racer, and pedaling bike. I've been on motorcycles, but not that kind of. But I like to. Right now, I have a gravel bike, and I've got a route that I take that's either 15 miles. Or I've got another route that's about almost 30 miles, and I'm very competitive. I go out there. I've got, trying to beat my record on how fast I can go that 30 miles and everything. So I have a ham radio, and in the last storm, it tore down my tower. I still don't have that fixed. So I've been off the air on my ham radio for a while. Any hobbies that I'm forgetting, Sherry?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I've lost track. So whose idea was it to get started in keeping bees, Jessica, at your house?
I took on an interest in it probably about 6 years ago, and my husband had bought me my first hive box, but I never had the bees until Ben got them. So I guess it was kind of me that started the interest, and Ben really helped just knock it out of the park and get her done.
Yeah. Well, in our family, it was definitely David. It was me. Yeah. He got started way back in 1995. And,
it was 93, wasn't it? Oh, maybe it's 95. I don't remember.
No, it wasn't. It was after that.
Okay.
It might have been 94, 95.
I think it was.
So, but there was a tree in our backyard. We had moved to Ohio, and there was a tree in our backyard that had fallen down, I think, wasn't it? And there was a swarm in it. And we had little kids at the time, and I wanted the kids to be able just to run in the backyard and do whatever. And so I think that's when he went out and said, well, I'm just going to have to get these bees out. And from there, it turned into some sort of a hobby, I guess. Mm-hmm. You can go on with it.
Right. I saw Mad Mike. Let me pull this comment up. Mad Mike Garage. Yeah. Mike was at our content conversions in Ohio and one of our golden ticket winners. But Mike, no, long-legged cyclists don't really do as well as shorter cyclists as far as racing goes, because if you have longer legs, you're usually skinnier. You're not as muscular. I've done a lot of research and studying. I'm disappointed that I'm not built like, kind of like a cycling racer. But you are right. My seat is very high on my bicycle. And so, yeah, I do take advantage of that. But usually it's the shorter people with muscular legs that can really make those bikes go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Oh, how did we get so wonderful? Love you guys. Wow. Well, thank you. I don't know how we got, yeah, I think some people have met me and have spent time with me and Sherry, and they say, you're just like you are on your video. You're the same kind of person. So, yep.
Okay. So what was the scariest thing or moment that has happened in your beekeeping journey? I think this is a really good question.
I know that one because I can see my hair is gray. I'll go first. Yeah. Shipping packages of bees.
That's what I was
my gosh. Picking up bees, putting them in, first of all, putting bees in boxes and then, taking orders and shipping live bees with a mated queen all over the country was horrible.
It was.
I couldn't take it. It's just did not work out well for me. I mean, it was scary. Yeah.
Jessica?
I was doing an inspection one day and I was holding a frame and love my dogs. They came, running over to where I was doing the inspection and everything. And I ended up dropping the frame, and I realized I had my queen on there right before I had dropped the frame. And yeah, luckily we found her. I actually had a couple people there with me when I was doing that inspection, and we found her really quickly and got her back into the hive. But I definitely dropped the F-bomb when I dropped that frame, showing that I dropped my queen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably one of my scariest moments in beekeeping, when I dropped my queen, and
Gosh.
I was very relieved quickly when we found her.
Well, I remember the scariest thing for me was one time I had to transport about 20 nukes in the back of a vehicle, and I must have been taking them to a customer or something like that. And I didn't have any kind of beekeeping equipment or gear on. And there's always travelers on the outside of those nukes or on the outside of packages. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that just cling on for dear life on the side because they're like, wait for me. Mm-hmm. And they started coming up. I was driving, and I remember I was on the interstate, and they came up, and I started getting stung in my head, on my head. And it was terrifying. And it hurt. It hurt a great deal. It really did. I must have gotten 5 or 6 stings right in my head that evening. I think that was the last time I did that.
I remember that you were driving one of our SUVs, like it was an enclosed, like a car vehicle, right? It wasn't like a pickup truck there in the back. They're in there with you.
It was inside.
Yeah, they're in there with you. And I remember I was gone, and you had to go get those and deliver them for me or something. And I don't know where I was, but I felt bad for you. It's like, oh no, that's going to be, because I knew that those bees were kind of cantankerous too, trying to haul those nukes around.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, here's one. Have you ever gone on a balloon ride?
No, for me.
No, for me, but I would love to.
Oh, would you? Oh, I would be.
My husband's trying to get into paramotoring now.
Never do that.
Now, my brother's a pilot, and he is a skydiver, and he has gone up in hot air balloons and parachuted out of hot air balloons. And he said it's just incredible to do that, so quiet and everything. So,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's one. What got you started into beekeeping, and what did your friends or family think when you did? That's a really interesting question. I think a lot of people did think that we were weird.
Oh yeah. Beekeeping for us at the time. Yeah, I had a different occupation. I wasn't born a beekeeper, and it just seemed like people were like, wow, that's so weird that you're keeping bees. You have beehives on your property. Oh my gosh, It
always seems like a strange thing to people, but now I think it's starting to get to be a real common interest that people see.
It's a novelty item now, almost.
Yeah.
So what about you? What did people think when you started doing it?
A lot of people were pretty supportive of it around here. I mean, being that we have a lot of farming fields, we have a lot of produce growers and everything. I mean, the honeybees are real big, pollinators for those sorts of things. So, I mean, we had a lot of people that were actually doing the bees, beekeeping and everything, and taking them to different people's farms. So, yeah. But I don't think we have quite as many as we used to at one point, but the numbers are building back up. But people are pretty supportive of it here.
Yeah.
But still, they're like, you have fun with that. Good luck not getting stung.
Right. That's right. Jobs outside of beekeeping. Well, David and I don't have any jobs outside of beekeeping.
No, we don't have any jobs. This is what we've done for a long time to make a living.
Many, many, many years.
Well, thank you all for your donations. This is our bread and butter, by the way.
Jessica, how about you?
I work at my family's nursery where we grow trees and shrubs, different kinds of bushes, ornamental roses, hydrangeas, all that kind of good stuff. And I've done waitressing, retail stores, and massage therapy for a little while. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Mostly now just, working at the nursery and doing my bees.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Have you harvested honey this year?
Yes, I did do a honey harvest this year. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to give a lot of that to friends and family for Christmas and everything, and some of Ben's family and everything for Christmas.
That is a great thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is for David.
Oh, actually, I was born in Arkansas. I don't know what that was. I was born in Arkansas, and then when I was 3 weeks old, my parents moved to Memphis, Tennessee. And so I moved to Memphis. I just basically grew up in Memphis all my life that I know of. So until I was a teenager, I didn't live too far from Graceland. And apparently, although I, can't prove it, my parents said that Elvis Presley is my sixth cousin or something like that. I don't remember the number, but really, really far removed.
Fair enough not to be in the will.
Yeah, I might be in the will. I don't think
You were, Okay,
Memphis,
what were your biggest challenges in having a large family?
Okay, I'll go first. Yeah, I think, we have 6 children, and so they're all grown, and Christian is our youngest, still at home. He's 16, but probably at the time we were raising our big family, we just didn't have any money. And it's really hard to raise a large family without any money. So I was always working hard as I could, sometimes a couple of jobs, just trying to pay bills, stay afloat, So I would say probably, trying to, for the man, it was more about providing for my family. That was the biggest challenge. What was your biggest challenge, Sherry?
All of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember there ever not being a challenge to all of it.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the biggest challenges for me was that I didn't necessarily have a lot of family around.
No, we didn't. No.
And so I felt like I was kind of doing it all on my own, and everything was on me, and I didn't have a lot of support or anybody to cry to or anybody to help me out. But along with that, Brian asked a question, how did you like homeschooling your kids? And I did homeschool my kids. And of course, a lot of people homeschooled their kids, here a couple, 2 or 3 years back, right? We all did that during COVID, but homeschooling the kids was it was fantastic. We loved it. The 3 that I homeschooled will tell you that they're all grown, flourishing adults now. One is in at the University of Illinois, and the other one went into the Marines, and he's working now that he's back home. And then of course Christian is working for us, but they all loved it, because I would pull them very often, did you like it? Would you have chosen anything else? And they all really, really seemed to like it. But it was it was very nice to be that close to my kids. But there was a lot of challenges to it too. I mean, there are some issues there. One had a severe ADHD that I really had to work with a lot to figure out how do you work with that? So there's some things I had to learn, but I do have a degree in teaching, so I was able to step into that role. But I did like it, Brian. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was good. Good question. Yeah. We since we had a bee business when our kids were growing up, for most of them, I got a great opportunity to utilize part of the homeschooling as teaching my children all about biology and botany and woodworking. It just came natural, running your own family business. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And here's the last one we're going to take, because we have to go on and get somebody to win a class.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's for Jessica. What do you do when you're not beekeeping?
Usually out working with my chickens,
Mm.
you know, doing things around the farm, working at the nursery, running water, and you know, doing tasks there. We like to go to West Virginia a lot and ride the Hatfield McCoy trails.
And when you say ride, what are you riding?
Usually in the side by side, we take nice family trips with me and my husband and my stepdaughter, and you know, her mom and her other siblings and a bunch of our friends. We get nice big groups together and go out and you know, take different adventures ringing, or me and my girls will take a girls' weekend and do some hiking and visit some wineries in the mountains.
Wow, nice.
Yep.
That is
Nice.
nice. That is nice.
So-
Okay, that's all we have time for tonight, David. But somebody needs to win that ultimate beekeeping course. And hey,
Okay.
and
Well,
before-
let's see.
Hey, I've
Let
got
me-
one more thing to say, though, to add to that.
Yep, go ahead.
If you've already taken the course or won the course, step back this time and let somebody else get in there, maybe, and win it this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, what we're going to do is, let me see if I can make this happen. There it is. You're going to type in the comments, hashtag WIN, win, all lowercase. Don't do uppercase. So hashtag win is the word that you'll use to win our ultimate course tonight. Hashtag WIN. Everybody got that? Yep. Okay. I see you got it. Very good. Well, that's great kind of sharing our activity. I saw a lot of questions that I would love. Somebody asked me how much I ride, but the bike that I ride a Giant Revolt Advance 2 gravel bike. I live down a gravel road for a little bit, so I can't really ride a road bike on my gravel. So I got to have a little bit bigger tires for gravel work I do. So hashtag win. Thank you all for your donations tonight, by the way, too. I think when they heard we make our living off honeybees, they felt kind of like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I know what that's like. I can't even.
Oh,
I'm
are they
spending all
struggling
this-
to do that?
Yeah, I mean, how much money does it take to keep bees alive? And oh my gosh, he's trying to make his living off bees. Is he an idiot?
Say
Wow.
it isn't so.
It was like a money pit when I first started beekeeping. Gosh, it took so much money to get rolling. Oh my goodness.
Uh,
Yeah.
It's not cheap when you're buying boxes and
No, you got to.
computers and all that kind of good stuff in the frames.
Yeah, and the queens and all that. And then you have problems, that you have to do something with. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Hashtag WIN.
hashtag.
Tennessee Hillbilly Honey. We struck a nerve with Tennessee tonight too. Yeah, yay Tennessee. I love growing up in the South, and it was a lot of fun growing up in Tennessee. Sherry and I have talked about moving to a different state sometime, but this is our home. I can't leave. It's just too comfortable where we live right now. So I don't know. We're trying to our house got hit by a storm, so we're trying to do some repairs, kind of fix it up. But we kind of like to maybe live here forever.
Hmm.
Who knows? Yep. How many do we have now? Have already put down for WIN?
Mhm.
Let me look. See what number we're at here. I can't tell. Start collecting comments. Have I not started that already? Oh, 34. Okay. So hashtag WIN for winning the ultimate beekeeping course. Yep.
Is that working? Because I know there's many names.
Maybe I forgot to hit the button, so do it again.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think there's more than 34.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This
I
time you
failed.
can
I
do
made a
it once.
mistake. This is so complicated, all this technology. So do it again. Hashtag
do it
win. I
again.
think David fell asleep at the wheel. You can bring-
David made a mistake, so everybody do it twice. Go, hurry.
Do it twice. Get your name in there again. David messed up. Do you hear me? Do it again.
Shame.
We do have Beak Squad place on our website if you want to get a Beak Squad hat, if you want to get a Beak Squad coffee mug, Beak Squad t-shirt. I saw somebody ask about the Bee Expo in January 4th through 6th. We'll be down there at Cayman Reynolds new conference, but wear your Beak Squad merchandise, like your shirts, your hat. We'll be able to recognize you guys
Yeah.
at the new conference down there.
And at the conference, Rob and Candy will be there, and they will also be selling merchandise there. That is the plan anyway.
Yeah.
So you can meet them and you can meet us at the same time, and then we'll all take pictures together.
Yeah. Big, massive Beak Squad people together. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So if you don't have your shirt, you can always buy one at the Honeybee Expo coming up in Louisville, January 4th through 6th. Now we got some people figured out. And once I figured out how to do it, it looks like everybody's properly participating now. That's great. So this is for our Ultimate Beekeeping course. It has my 7 courses all bundled up in one, and you can watch me teach you. And it's been received really well over the last few years. We have had, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands of people.
Thousands, yeah.
Thousands.
Thousands all over the world too, not just in the US, but everywhere. Yeah.
So it'd be very educational to get this package of classes for you. You don't have to have anything but just the ability to, like a smartphone, a computer, a TV, where you can access the internet, so you can access these classes. Watch them at your own pace. You don't have to. You're not in a Zoom meeting. You don't lose them. So once you win them, they're yours to keep learning from. You can hit pause if you want to come back to them later. So that's all good.
Yep.
All right, I'm about ready to hit win. What do you guys think?
Yes, go for it.
Do it.
142. Get that hashtag win in there in a hurry.
Woo.
Here we go.
Here we go. Kelly.
Way to go, Kelly. Wow. All right.
Okay, and Kelly just needs to write us
Yep.
right here at this email. This email doesn't go anywhere, so don't think you're writing to David.
Yeah.
Just for Kelly tonight to
Just
write.
for Kelly.
Yeah,
Yep. Kelly, email us at longlinehoneybees@gmail.com. This is just for winner only email. I don't see any other emails if you try to contact me that way. But congratulations, Kelly. Enjoy the classes. Yeah.
The dog is excited too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she is.
But David, one more thing before we close down for the night. So we had several people donate tonight. Brenda and Craig, Brian and Leah, Royal, Angela, Jane, Kathy, and Tennessee Hillbilly Honey. And so tonight, if you will also, all of you that donated, if you will also write me at this winner email, I am going to send you some Beak Squad stickers.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah. So just send me an email at that. I've got your names down here. I know who you are. So everybody who donated tonight wins 2 Bee Squawk stickers that I'm going to send to you this week.
Wow, there you go. Yeah. What if they donate after you've made that announcement?
I will still continue to do it.
Still time, get your name in there.
That's right. There's still time before 8 o'clock to get your name in there.
Oh, good. Well, Jessica, I want to thank you again for really being a part of our live stream. And it is important. Sherry and I felt overwhelmed to stay connected with our chat in the beginning, and so having you there to kind of talk to people and answer questions has really been a big help. So thanks so much for helping us out.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I can help. It's been a great experience for me too. So yeah. I'm happy to help.
I can tell the whole Beak Squad community really loves you and appreciates you. Everybody thinks you're great. So that's good.
Well, I've really appreciated them because, I mean, it was great just talking to them, and it still is great talking to everybody on there.
Yeah, it's going to mean a lot more to people now that they kind of know a little more about you and what you look like and where you live and everything. It'd be kind of cool. Everybody would be like, oh, yeah, Jessica's here. Hey, Jessica. I can share the fan spotlight. Now they won't just be wanting to talk to me. They'll be wanting to talk to you and Sherry too when they see you guys. It's a lot of fun. Well, good. Well, Sherry, thank you for being here. Sherry, appreciate you managing all these things as well in the live stream.
Yeah.
And I want to thank all of you that join us every Thursday night. It seems like a lot, but I always look forward to it. I mean, every Thursday night, it's amazing that I've been able to do this. Even when I've been traveling or in different states and all, I still have managed to come on here. Maybe I've missed once, I think, but I hope, I mean, I don't want to take it for granted that you guys are here every Thursday night. I really do appreciate it. I know it's an hour of your time every Thursday you're committed to when you can. So I want to let you know that we love you guys. We appreciate you. And it's great to be a part of a beekeeping community. We need to support one another, and we can all be successful when we get behind each other and support each other. We all get a little bit more success in our life. We have just coming together like this. It brings hope and inspiration to all of us to see faces, to have a little bit of time to chat together, because sometimes we don't have a lot of social interaction. So when these things occur like this, it makes us all feel a little bit better. So thanks so much for watching tonight. Any final words from Jessica or Sherry?
Everybody have a great week.
What did you say, Jessica?
Hope everybody has a great week. I was about to say thanks.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care. Have a great week. Oh, and hope everything goes good with your bees and all. We'll see you next time.